The expansion of Cranswick's site in Stow Bedon from about 600 pigs to 7,000 is causing misery for the people who live in Stow Bedon. This has been an issue for years. It's been raised with the parish council, but the environment agencies seem to be unable to do anything about it. This is a key issue for people in Mid Norfolk. This pollution is settling in the valley around Stow Bedon, and it's filled with chemicals like ammonia and others. Now, what you're about to listen to is an interview on Radio Norfolk with Anne Cuthbert, who's been particularly affected by this problem, but something's got to be done and no one's listening. It's time for us to step up as a community and take action, raise awareness and get something done about this problem.
Residents in Stow Bedon claim the ammonia caused by the site at Cherry Tree Farm is so bad it's causing nosebleeds and headaches. It's owned by Cranswick Foods and houses 7,000 pigs, having expanded from 600 sows 5 years ago. But villagers say the stinkers got worse since then. Sam Burton is going to bring us a bit of smell by radio this morning. He's in Stow Bedon. What does it smell like there, Sam?
Well, good morning, Chris. We've got the blue skies, hashes of cloud in the sky, and a rather windy, cold breeze coming across. And I can see the factory from the house here. I'm with Anne Cuthbert. Now, Anne, tell me about the sort of smells you're experiencing, because I can smell something in the air. It's definitely there.
Well, it's mostly ammonia. That's the biggest issue, and it can be very strong, and it's not just about an odour, because this is quite a dangerous thing to be exposed to short and long term. And it's also a marker, because there's over 400 chemicals that can come out of these units, and things like volatile organic compounds and other dust issues and protozoa. So it's very worrying that this is happening on a regular basis.
And when you say a regular basis, how often is this happening now?
Well, interestingly, it can happen, I don't know, every day or twice a day, and then we can have a break for several days or maybe a week. It's not at the same time and it's not on the same day. So that's actually quite stressful, because if you want to invite anybody around for, social gathering, barbecue, or even a meal inside, what happens is the sense of taste and smell gets confused. So you end up tasting pig urine or pig faeces.
And you said you've been living here for over 30 years. Is this the worst it's been so far?
No, it's been like this since they began operating in 2021, and clearly we've been in touch with the Environment Agency, sometimes on a daily, twice daily basis, and our local MP, Liz Truss. We've done everything that we can to follow the correct procedure. And I would say at this point that, let's have a big thank you for our local farmers, because this isn't a farm, this is an industrial processing unit by a company that runs from Hull. These are not local people, and our local farmers are invested in their farms, in the environment, and take a lot of care over things like wildlife.
And what is anything at all being done about it? Because you said you've been speaking to your local MP as well.
Haven't heard from our local MP for around about 18 months, and we have approached the Mid Norfolk candidates with the forthcoming election. All of the candidates have been approached, but the only person to come back to us was a candidate for the Reform Party, who's actually been incredibly supportive.
And it's been causing nosebleeds and headaches. Yes. That's a really serious issue, isn't it?
That's serious enough, but that's short term. So long term, this sort of exposure can cause things like cardiovascular problems that would be irreversible, reduced lung function, and even some forms of cancer. That we've read reports about that.
And has there been any problems associated with smells in the village in the past either?
You mean other than Cranswick?
Yeah.
No, I mean we live in the countryside, so we're going to have things like regular farmyard manure spreading, all sorts of things going on, but all of that has been tolerable, and our farmer neighbours and friends are actually very considerate as far as that's concerned. So, you live in the country, you expect some odour, you expect some noise, but this is quite different. It's something completely different.
Yeah, it's that expected smell of manure across Norfolk. We're used to it being from Norfolk, yes. But this is really a different level, isn't it?
It is. It's the extreme pollution plumes. But it's situated in a valley, which means that the plumes really mostly can only come towards the north and towards Stow Bedon village. And the house itself, being fairly tall, acts as a barrier, so the pollution tends to get concentrated.
How much of a negative impact is this having on your day-to-day life, Anne?
Well, you can't live your life. I mean, this is a real human rights issue under Article 2 and Article 8. I mean, we cannot live our lives. And if you look around the garden, you'll see projects abandoned, there'll be spades or, things that we've been using where it's got so bad we've just had to leave and come indoors.
How unbearable does it get out here when it's at its worst?
It's quite choking. I don't know if you've ever had a kind of a chest infection where the top of your lungs feel quite sore and burning. So you have to stop what you're doing. You have to go inside. And it's like other people in the village would describe that as being a prisoner in your own house, or you're under house arrest. And there's a child in the village who feels that she can't go out into the garden. She actually suffers from autism and doesn't understand why she can't go into her garden. And the noise of the screaming of the pigs can be quite terrifying. So we're experiencing that odour, that ammonia, but where's it coming from? And what are the pigs being exposed to? We don't know what's happening in terms of the welfare, but we do know 7,000 pigs there, and they anticipate a 10% mortality rate. So that's 700 pigs dying. That's an anticipated figure. It may be more, it may be less, we don't know.
Well, thank you so much, Anna. It is certainly a smell that you can breathe quite easily in the air here, and it's awfully sad for Anne. And just one more thing from you, Anne.
There's so much more information about this, so I just wondered if people are interested, if they contact the Cranswick Objection Group on Facebook. There's lots more information available there.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Anne. It is certainly, you can smell it in the air here, and Anne's experiences, it's desperately sad, actually. Back to you, Chris.
Sam, thanks very much. Sam Burton reporting this morning for us from Stow Bedon.